The South African football fraternity is currently mourning the passing of former Kaizer Chiefs midfielder and forward Mike Nkambule. The former midfielder lost his life in a car accident while returning home from a soccer tournament in Limpopo. Nkambule will be remembered for his contribution to South African football and the impact he made during his career. Our deepest condolences to go out to his family, friends, and former teammates and everyone attracted by these tragic news. Gambole was only 37 years old. May his soul rest in peace. Very good afternoon. Welcome to your favorite online sports show, All Things Football. The number day one of the Betway Premiership has been done and dusted. We turn our attention to the weekend that turns yellow. It's the yellow weekend on the PSL as the PSL turns 30 years old since they toured the leagues in the PSL's inception in 1996. After the National Soccer League, which was then known as the NSL, was folded in 1995, which after its inception in 1985 under the late Bamji brothers and Abdul and Suleiman Bamji. My name is Apiwe Roto. Let's give you the news happening before we give you news happening around the world, in the world of football, that is. Interact with me on your social media platforms. The show is available on TikTok at all things football underscore 14. We are on Instagram, all things football caps, all things football caps on Facebook. Like and follow on Facebook, or also on YouTube, and all things football caps. Let's have a conversation. Now, the show is not live, so I cannot read your comments and I cannot take your calls, unfortunately. At least not yet. Let's get you up to speed with the news that have been making headlines in the world of football in the last week. Tsegofaso Babasa has pen to paper for Moroccan champions in Maghreb Defense. The 29-year-old striker spent the last season on loan at Stellenbosch FC after falling out of favor with Evidence Mahopa and Yanela Mbutuma being the preferred options in terms of being the target man. Now, this had put his chances of him increasing his goal tally of the Buccaneers, where he was only second to former Orlando Pirates midfielder and Benedict Villegas, who is currently the all-time leading goal scorer of all time for the Buccaneers on 55 goals. Mabasa has been linked with a relatively number of clubs, and Kaizer Chiefs, the Glamour Boys, who are currently in search for a quality striker. Also, clubs from Iraq and Turkey. However, no deals were agreed upon. We can now confirm that, however, that the Britannia Premier League side, Pro League side, have noted and have tabled an attractive offer with a switch potentially marking the last big payday of his career. He is now removed to jetted off to North Africa. You move to North Africa on Sunday and is ready to start a new chapter. We wish him all the best. Furthermore, having won the league, the Pro League, they will await they had their fate decided on Thursday in terms of the CAF Champions League. Moving right along, Kaizer Chiefs have found out who've learned their fate alongside Durban City, have learned their fate in terms of the CAF Confed Cup. Kaizer Chiefs will get a bye, missing out on the first round, but they will play in the second round towards mid to the end of October. While Durban City qualified through making the Nedbank Cup, having won the Nedbank Cup towards the end of the season. Kaizer Chiefs go through where they're going to face either Red Arrows of Zambia or FC Rouge in the second qualifying round, or of FC Rouge of Burundi in the second qualifying round, that is. Durban City's challenge, meanwhile, will see FC Rukinzo, whereas they will be looking to progress beyond the next round of qualifiers. Other fixtures you can look forward to are Al Hilal Asahili of Sudan against Wagawi of Walwawa Agedad Grad of Ethiopia, to mention a few. The Panthers of Equatorial Guinea against Aspect of Benin. We can see a lot AS Dunanis of Mauritania taking on Hafia of Guinea. Shooting Stars of Nigeria will take on CAF returnees In CS 16, CS Series of Tunisia will take on Diambas of Senegal. Betis of Burkina Faso will take on AS Joal de Bamako. In another West African derby, FC Diarra will take on Nations FC of Ghana. AF Sam will take on Esco Kara of Togo. Second match prelims will see Kaiser Chiefs will have to wait for the winner between Red Arrows of Zambia and Rouge FC, just to mention a few. While Al Ali of Egypt also will also find themselves in this Al Ali of beaten for runners-up the CAF last season's CAF Champions League in Asfa, find themselves down to the CAF Confed Cup, having to wait between SPSI of Chad and CO Koroko of the Ivory Coast, while the winner between AS Douanes and Mauritania and Hafia FC of Guinea will face Luis Belouizdad. Raja Casablanca will wait for Al Kanema Warriors and UDIP Guinea in the winner between FC Kanemi Warriors and UDIP of Guinea. And of course, CS Vaccine will the winner of CS Vaccine and Shooting Stars will take on the winner between Amadou Diallo and um, East Lions East End Lions, I beg your pardon. FC Diarra the winner between FC Diarra of Mali and Nations FC of Ghana will take on AS Sam of Niger. Between the winners of AS Zam of Niger and Oscar de Cara, while winner of Unam and Copa Scop de Petroleum will take on AS Manima Union of Morocco of the DR Congo, to mention a few. The winner between Durban City and Rekinzo will face off against Mauritian side in Esport Louis and Schwanning Galaxy, just to mention a few. Moving on to our other story, Betway Premiership. Now Richards Bay have responded to the events that transpired in the event. Now you might have noticed that there was a ongoing confrontation which took place, and the towards the when the referee blew the whistle for the full time at the Mhlatuza Sports Complex. We are going to unpack the dramatic scenes that unfolded and the root cause for those scenes. Now there's a footage circulating on social media in a heated exchange with the officiating team after the pitch, with police officers who stepped in to prevent the situation from escalating and going violent. Now, the video also appears to show the Richards Bay chairman and Jomo Biela involved in a physical altercation with a bystander during the commotion. Now, the incident has drawn widespread attention not only because Richard Biela is the owner of Richards Bay, but also serves on the Premier Soccer League Executive Committee. Now, SABC Sport approached the club for clarity. Now, according to the club spokesperson Olani Zungu, Biela had gone on to the pitch to congratulate his players, greet the technical teams before shaking hands with the match officials. Now, the club claims the confrontation only began after the chairman was allegedly insulted by referee Moreki Likwape. Now, Zungu went on to state that Bayela also intervened to prevent a club official from his side, Richards Bay, to confront the referee as tensions fled. The flashpoint centered on Lekwape, who twice altered his decision following discussions with his assistant referee after Richards Bay appealed for a penalty, which turned out to be a corner kick. Now, some education just to provide some education. Now we saw the incident being dissected on numerous occasions. We saw, if you watch Soccer Zone on SABC One on Monday, Mr. Victor Hlungwa, former FIFA referee, a certified FIFA referee that is, did point out the situation that the ball had hit the player's underarm before hitting his arm. If the rules will tell you that when the ball hits the part of the body before the arm, that player, their body, team cannot be awarded, the opposition cannot be awarded a penalty. However, should the ball hit their hand while the player is stretching his arm stretched or is trying to make his body bigger, then the penalty can only then be awarded. If the player if there's also a case of ball to hand where the ball hand is in its natural position to is in its natural position and the ball hits the hand while the hand is in its natural position, that cannot be ruled as a handball. And not forget furthermore not or finally, not forgetting the rule additionally rather not forgetting the rule of ball to hand, play to the whistle. Now the statement now the officials ultimately would go on to award a corner kick instead of a sport kick, which left the home side feeling they were shortchanged. They were denied a chance to equalize after they had pulled one back. The chairman initially went onto the pitch to try to defuse the situation. In the statement reads, "As you can imagine, the fans were unhappy with the officiating. We saw them throw missiles. As he told the public broadcaster, I can tell you the chairman succeeded in making sure the individual did not get close to the match officials. As per norm, he went to shake the hand of the hands of the match officials after the game and jokingly mentioned the application of VAR. However, the response was words we cannot repeat. Now, we do not condone profanity or violence in football, as this football is meant to be a beautiful game, meant to bring the union, meant to bring people together and be merry." Now, which brings the statement. Now, a statement has been doing the round from my colleague, my fellow broadcaster Andy Ngube, that the state of football cites the events of our society, the ills of society, social ills to say the least. Meaning we do not so the fact that the situation ended the way it is paints a bad image on how our society looks and our taints the image of our football of our football as a whole. Therefore, all things football does not condone football. It is called a beautiful game for a reason. It is meant to unite people, not divide them and start fights. We can be rivals for a good 90, 120 minutes, or even sport kicks. After that, we can be friends again. Football is not meant to be personal. Now it appears that matters worse. Well, what matters worse was that the chairman wanted to know why he was being insulted by the referee Morekile Kwape, and the match commissioner was informed and promptly asked for the meeting, which resulted in an apology to the chairman, and it ended right there. Moving right along, PSL side Richards Bay have become the latest side to be on the receiving end of a stadium crisis, which has hit a lot of PSL sides. Now, the venue crisis has gone worse by the minute in the Premier Soccer League, with Richards Bay becoming the latest club to having forced. Club forced to find an alternative home ground after the Premier Soccer League banned the now renovated Mhlatuza Sports Complex. The Natal Ridge Boys have been hit with a 4-week ban on hosting official PSL matches at the Mhlatuza Sports Complex, has been made effective from the 13th of August in 2026. The suspension follows a recent pitch inspection, which was conducted by the league representatives, who deemed the playing surface unfit for local matches. The decision comes shortly after Richards Bay were on the receiving end of a 2-1 loss to Polokwane City at the venue on Sunday, on the 2nd of August. The home side, where they were handed a 2-1 loss to by the Limpopo by Rise and Shine. In an official statement released by the Natal Ridge Boys, the KwaZulu Natal based side confirmed the development and expressed regret to their supporters. Now, when they got you must remember that when Richards Bay got promoted in 2022, they were using the Kingswell Stadium while waiting for the Mhlatuza Sports Complex to be completed after it underwent renovation. PSL Richards Bay FC regrets to announce that the PSL has issued a ban on fixtures at the Mhlatuza Stadium for a 4 week period starting on 13 August, which read a decision was taken last week after an inspection rather was conducted by the PSL representatives, which will keep the club will keep the fans and supporters updated on the progress once received. We apologize for the situation, which is beyond our control. On the receiving end of the stadium ban was also Limpopo sides Bukune United and Polokwane City, who will now be forced to share the Seshiko Stadium. Now, Skukune United confirmed that they are opening battery fixture home fixtures against Durban City and Polokwane City in a Limpopo derby have been moved to Seshiko Stadium. Now, the decision comes as the playing surface at the new Peter Mkaba Stadium undergoes scheduled rehabilitation work. The rehabilitation is expected to be completed in the coming weeks. Babena managed a 1-0 win against Durban City at the Seshiko Stadium. Another statement comes from Skukune United, which comes from Sekhukhune United, who will be sharing a venue with Polokwane City, stating that the fixtures against Durban City and Polokwane City have the another statement. Another statement comes from Stellenbosch. Now, let's go back to Polokwane City rather. Now, Polokwane City, the Limpopo challenge with regards to the venues also affected Polokwane City, who also forced to shift. Now, they don't share their home ground. Polokwane City play their home stadium, their home games at the old Peter Mkaba Stadium, which was once known as the Petersburg Stadium. According to adding to the venue challenges in Limpopo, Polokwane City will also move their matches to Seshiko Stadium. As the old Peter Mkaba Stadium is currently undergoing surface maintenance, which is expected to take roughly 3 weeks, which is going to finish most likely in early September. Another side forced out of Western Cape was Stellenbosch FC, after the scarcity of the extent following the stadium scarcity, which is on the receiving end of stadium scarcity in the Western Cape. Now, the Western Cape outfits were forced to move their stadium, their 2026-2027 opening fixture to the Sugar Ray Xolu Stadium, which they lost by an odd goal to from a spot kick by Aten Kosimakogolo. Sterling had to relocate due to the complete unavailability of suitable venues. Now, with the now deserted Newland Stadium at the in Cape Town, Stellies had to relocate due to complete unavailability. Now, there's also the rugby's greatest rivalry, which is taken over the Western Cape. The Danny Craven Stadium was unavailable due to the hosting of World University Rugby Sevens, while the Athlone Stadium has been booked for the All Blacks camp. Uh, while the now the Craven was unavailable due to the hosting of FISU World University Rugby Sevens, while the Athlone Stadium was booked for the All Blacks New Zealand training camp. Meanwhile, the DHL Stadium was utilized for the Danny Craven, the Curry Cup rather, fixture between the DHL Stormers and of course the Hollywood Beds Sharks. Moving, I also have a statement. Speaking of which, Chipper United have reissued an official statement. Now, this statement was issued on the 28th of July. Initially, episode 1 was supposed to kick off last week. However, due to absence of audio, that could not happen. For that, I would like to apologize sincerely. A club statement released by club chairman and coach Mr. Sivion Pengesi stated that Chipa United FC wishes to inform its supporters that Nelson Mandela Bay and Buffalo City will be unavailable throughout the month of August as both venues undergo scheduled pitch maintenance. As a result, the club will play its last August home fixtures outside the Eastern Cape. On 16 August, Chippa United will host Orlando Pirates at the iconic Kings Park Stadium in Durban. For the first time in years, top flight football returns to one of South Africa's enduring football bastions. Now, you may be familiar with the stadium. You're probably familiar with the stadium. We Bafana played their very first encounter played their very first PSL game at the Bafana Bafana rather played their very first international game in 1992 after we were after we were readmitted following expulsion from due to apartheid. Uh, we played our first game against Cameroon, which we won by an odd goal following that spot kick from Cameroon. Also home to Manning Rangers, who secured their first league title, the inaugural PSL title in the tournament in the league's inception in 1996-1997. Home to Amazulu and African Wanderers, just to mention a few, and of course Raj FC. Moving right along, Kaiser Chiefs confirmed the signing of Faiz Abrahams on a season-long loan from Stellenbosch FC rather, to with the option of buying the player. Now the 21-year-old joins Amakosi. Now, the 21-year-old joins Amakosi after making his PSL debut at just after his 19th birthday in 2024, and after later moved to Stellenbosch and also gained some international experience plying his trade in Israel before returning to South Africa the previous season, where he featured from Stellenbosch on the international stage. He's also represented Amachita on an international end level, which is our under 20 side, when was part of that AFCON winning side, which took place in Egypt, where they won by an odd goal against Morocco, and a repeat of the under 20 of the 1997 under 20 final between the two, which was won by the latter, but at the expense of with South Africa. You may be familiar with that side, which had featured the likes of Benny McCarthy, who won Player of the Tournament, alongside Stanton Fredericks and Jared and of and Matthew Booth, who captained the side at the time. Now he joins the team as they prepare to join to as they prepare to make their return to the MTN 8, having missed out for the last two previous seasons as they kick off against Golden Arrows at the FNB Stadium. Kickoff for that fixture is at 1800 hours. Other teams that have learned their fate in the event of the current African football of the CAF Champions League are Orlando Pirates, who are the treble winners, and of course defending champions and Mamelodi Sundowns. Orlando Pirates have been handed their fate, where a 22,500 seater awaits them in the CAF Champions League. Now, Mamelodi Sundowns received a first round bye and will face the winner between SC of Angola and the winner between Village FC SC rather of Angola, and of course Forest Stars of the Seychelles in the second preliminary round. They will play their first leg away between the 16th and 18th of October, where the return leg penciled in the following week, while Orlando Pirates will navigate their first preliminary round against Mauritian outfit Lakio Waves with the first leg taking place from the 4th to the 6th of September, and the second round leg looking to be played from the 11th to the 13th of September. Let's turn our attention to the CAF club rankings. Now, the CAF have released their club rankings going into this season's CAF tournaments, namely the CAF Champions League and of course the CAF Confed Cup. Say a total of 79 sides will take part in the team. Orlando current in the different tournaments respectively. Orlando Mamelodi Sundowns, while the current champions, lead the pack, while Al Ali, who will miss out on the Champions League, meaning they will take part in the CAF Confederations Cup, are sitting second on 66 points. Esperance de Tunis are on 58. RS Bagan are on 57. UMCM Alger are on complete the top 5 on 52, while Orlando Pirates find themselves number 19, completing the top 20. MC Alger are in number 17. Stade Malien are in 16th. Asek Mimosa are in number 15. Stellenbosch FC find themselves in number 21, followed on 17, tied with Raja Casablanca, while OC Safi, Rivers United of Nigeria sit tied on 15 points. Maroma Gallants and Kaiser Chiefs find themselves in 37 and 38 respectively, on 37 on 6 and 5 points, while Amazulu FC find themselves at 69 at numbered on 2 points. other rankings after the FIFA World Cup. Where let's have take a look at the 48 sides and how they fared after the FIFA World Cup. Of course, world champion Spain were finished first, while number two are runners up Argentina. Third place finishes England. Finished third after getting that bronze, the first bronze of the tournament. In the tournament's history, Norway finished fifth, while Belgium find themselves sixth. Currently ranked number seven in the world, Morocco find themselves finishing seventh after crashing out in the quarterfinal alongside Switzerland, who are in number seven, who are also on seven. Morocco for number eight, rather. Now, Mexico are ninth, Colombia on 10, while Brazil are in number 11 after missing out in the round of 16 for the first time since Italia 90. Our very own Egypt are at number 60, 15 to mention a few, while Cote d'Ivoire find themselves in 19th. The Democratic Republic of Congo and Ghana find themselves in 23rd and 24th respectively, while South Africa find themselves in number 25. Bosnia and Herzegovina find themselves in 29th. Algeria and Senegal find themselves in 30 and 31 respectively, followed by Cape Verde in 32, and of not forgetting Tunisia and number 47. Let's have a look at the PSL winners and the judging panel. Now, the football of the season. Now, there were complaints about Pirates sweeping all the awards. Now, you must remember that Orlando Pirates did win the award, did win the league and won the treble, of course. The football of the season went to Rebohile Mufugeng alongside the player of the season. Coach of the season went to Coach Abdesalam Ouaddou. Cameron Danson won goal of the season for his goal against Mamelodi Sundowns and that equalizer. Sepachene won goalkeeper of the season. Lebona Sima winning defender of the season. Midfield of the season went to Apollos, while young player of the season went to Relebogile Mofokeng. Last man standing was won by Tepang Morem of Orlando Pirates. Wambege Mbogazi won the curling knockout player of the season. Northbank Cup most promising player was won by Sululeko Mahlambi of TS Galaxy. Darren Kakit, who is now retired with Durban City, has won Nedbank Cup player of the tournament. The players player of the tournament of the Municipal Foundation Championship was won by Emil Witboy, who plays for Cape Town City, while goalkeeper of the season was won by Mickey van der Hart, while young player of the season was won by Gabriel Amato of Cape Town City. The DSTV Diski Challenge player of the season was won by Bernard Mukwena, while Nandi Pamensa won assistant referee of the season. Eugene Truly won the referee of the season. And that furthermore, not forgetting that last but not least, the chairman's award went to the late Jaden Adams, who has since passed on. Now let's take a look at that judging panel. This is the judging panel. This is by no means biased if that's what people think. Let's set the record straight for the people who are not in the know about who makes the decisions regarding these awards. Goalkeeper of the season is decided by former Kaiser Chiefs and Orlando Pirates goalkeeper in William Shongwe alongside Tabiso Kofa of Lesedi FM, John Timark of The Citizen, Jablan Dlamini of Siakula Sports News, and Mahlatse Mpahlele of Times Live. Our defender of the season is decided by Super Sport commentator and Babam Teto, Spokas Malenga of ENCA, Senzo Sokela of Ilanga, of Fane Monyai of Far Post, and of course, former Bafana defender and Super Sport analyst, and of course, Spongani Kumalo. Excuse me. Simpiwe Tlutlu of Supersport decides is part of the panel that decides the midfield of the season alongside Nkareng Machi of the Sowetan, Lawrence Kola of iDiski Times, Larato Pajo of Supersport, and of course freelance journalist Siyanda Zwane form part of the midfield of the season judging panel. Young player of the season is decided by SABC Sport presenter Vusiwe Ngcobo, Mihlali Baleka of the Star, Grant Bessert, Supersport commentator, another Supersport commentator, and Ndlovu, and of course Sim Tolhlatla of Ukhosi FM. Coach and goal of the season are decided by legendary Supersport commentator and Mark Gleason, another legend in sports editor, Sunday Times sports editor in BBK, Babatung Baring Batu Kotyes, and of course Supersport commentator and Babam Tetra, Vusiwe Ngcobo of SABC Sport, and of course Simpiwe Hludlu of Super Sport, while freelance journalist in Machelane Mamabolo and was a freelancer. Mfana futhi of Ndlovu of Ilanga, IOLs, Smiso Msomi, and of course Brian Fikeng of Radio 2000, and not forgetting Temba Chabalala of Josie FM, Decide the MTN 8. While the Matsepe Foundation championship winners are decided by Lakim Hlati of Super Sport, Sibuso Ndimasa Ndimande of Mpumalanga News, of Tabele Motiko of Super Sport, Jabulani Dlamini of Sekula Sports News, and of course Tsepo Mailwane of Soccer Laduma. The legendary BBK also decides the Nedbank Cup awards, and alongside Arnold Rankoko, who does Sutu commentary for Super Sport, Mahlatsi Mpahlela of Times Live, Ntokosi Simxuseni of Isolezwe, and of course Nkululeko Dladla, not forgetting Nkululeko Dladla, and of course, FM. Current knockout will be decided by Tabiso Tima of Super Sport, Fiso Masboko of Super Sport, Fiso Ramara of SABC News, Ayanda Nyuswa of Gaga CFM, and of course Lonabo Miso of the SABC. While the footballer of the season is decided by the 16 Premier Division coaches. However, the catch is you are not allowed to vote for your own player. You're supposed to vote for the opposition player, while the Betway Premiership player of the season is decided by the PSL players of the 16 teams. However, a player cannot vote for his own teammates. Motsepa Foundation, as is the case with the Motsepa Foundation Championship player of the season, and of course the DSTV player of the season, which was decided by the DSTV Desky head coaches. With that being said, let's turn our attention to what transpired in the last week. We saw Betway Premiership Match Day 1 took place last week. On the 1st of August, Orlando Pirates secured a 2-1 scoreline against Milford newcomers, PSL newcomers, or in Melford FC, with a goal from Oswin Apollos and a late goal from Tsepang Maremi. Stellenbosch FC falling short to a spot kick by Atenkosi Makogolo at the Sugar Kulu, which decided the game with an odd goal, while Golden Arrows and Chippa United was the only game not to give us goals. After playing to a goalless draw, Kukune United won by an odd goal, was thanks to Brighton Clovu, who also plays as a defender, which has got players wondering why is he wasting his time as a centre back? Why is he not a forward? Kaiser Chiefs made a strong statement against newcomers who were on the Kruger United, who were the Mitsipe Foundation Championship, despite cancelling the opener, despite Clovo cancelling the opener. By Flavio Silva in the 7th minute, a brace by substitute Wandile Duba secured a win for the Glamour Boys at the Mbombela Stadium. Sunday saw Richards Bay being handed their first loss at the Mhlatuza Sports Complex in a game which almost turned which had ugly scenes towards the end of the game. Polokwane City winning by 2 goals to 1, with Richards Bay having coming back from 2 goals down. Siwelele and a 10-man Siwelele FC following a blunder from Sipo Mensa, which led to the goalkeeper getting sent off. And TS Galaxy ended in a 2-all draw at the Toyota Stadium in Bloemfontein. Match day one, with the match day one being done and dusted in the Betway Premiership, we turned our attention to the NTN 8 this week. We see Orlando Pirates, Orlando Pirates taking on Durban City. A kickoff for that fixture is at 1500 hours. They'll be looking to make history by becoming only the first team to win the tournament for the fifth successive time since the tournament's inception in 1972. While the not so lucky side in Mamelodi in the tournament, Mamelodi Sundowns, who are fresh from getting their second star on the continent, will welcome Polokwane City we're not sure if it's going to be Loftus or the Lucas Masterpieces Morepe Stadium. We are waiting to see. Chatsworth Stadium will see Amazulu on Sunday take on Skukune United, while FNB Stadium will see the return of Kaiser Chiefs take on Golden Arrows. Midweek fixtures will see the Betway Premiership return midweek with Chipper United welcoming Richards Bay. That game will be at the Kings Tennis Stadium. The Princess Makoko will most likely be held at the Kings Tennis Stadium or the Princess Makoko. However, Chipper United will keep you posted. Marimo Gallants take on newcomers Chipper United. Kruger United, while Polokwane City welcome Durban City Stellenbosch FC. TS Galaxy take on Mamelodi Sundowns at the Mbombela Stadium. Wednesday we'll see Amazulu FC welcome Amazulu take on Orlando Pirates. Durban City take on Golden Arrows in the first KZN derby of the season. Kaiser Chiefs welcomes Kukune United, while Morford take on Siwelele FC. And that's all we have time for on all things football. Remember to hit me up or to talk to me on social media. We are available on your social media platforms. We are available on TikTok at all things football underscore 14, all things football caps, all things football caps on YouTube. Like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell for notification, of course, for new episodes which premiere every Saturday at lunch hour. The show is also available on Facebook, on the Facebook page, all things football caps. Like the Facebook page on Facebook, like the page on Facebook. That's all we have time for right now on all things football. Hope you enjoyed the show. I definitely enjoyed bringing it to you. For myself, Apiwe Roto, you have been updated. Now, this show is based solely on facts, nothing but facts. We do not entertain rumors. It's a family show, no profanity or whatsoever. However, please do have a conversation with me. You can look out for the opening fixture of the MTN 8 with the defending champions Orlando Pirates taking on Durban City. Game kickoff for that fixture is in less than 40 minutes. From myself, Apiwe Roto, enjoy the show, enjoy the football, take care of yourselves and each other. Cheers.